Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Tuesday edition. As you can see by that window right there, it's pretty late at night. So I am going to go ahead and dive into it. I do appreciate anybody that did understand. I had a work event tonight I had to go to. Went to that, stayed there a lot longer than I expected to, and I finally have made it home. So I'm ready to go ahead and pump out this video and get it out to you guys. So why don't we go ahead and dive into my top waiver wire targets. Also will be doing my top streamable defenses. But let's just go ahead and get into the top waiver wire targets, starting at the quarterback position. I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater. He is available in 74% of the leagues. Now I will go ahead and say this. I don't think Teddy's an season-long answer. I don't think he's going to go win you a fantasy football championship in week 10. But I will say this, I do think he is a good streamable option for week 10. If you're looking for somebody to stream in maybe a double quarterback league, or maybe one of your quarterbacks are on a bye, maybe you're dealing with maybe like a Kyler Murray. You don't know if he's going to 100% play this week. So I think Teddy Bridgewater does offer people a good outing if they were wanting to take a gamble on him. He's available in 74% of the leagues right now. Now, this past week against the Dallas Cowboys, he had 249 passing yards. He had the touchdown. Now, obviously, his rushing yards did not show up, right? He had the 3 rushes for a -yard. He did get a touchdown, though, on his rushing attempts. So he had a couple touchdowns. And this next week, he is going against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we just saw Justin Herbert have one of his best, if not, I think maybe career best completion percentages against the Eagles. Darius Slay, their top cornerback, had to leave that game with an injury. So if he is less than 100%, or if he is not able to play on Sunday, they're going to be out their best cornerback against the Broncos. And I will say this, I do respect the defensive front of the Philadelphia Eagles. So if there's something the Denver offense is going to have to lean on, it's going to be their passing attack. So I think Teddy Bridgewater is a pretty good, solid streaming quarterback option this week if you're looking for something on the waiver wire. I will say, like I said, I will say this. I don't think he's a long-term option, but if you're looking for somebody in week 10, I think you could turn to Teddy Bridgewater at the quarterback spot. Now, my running back out of the week, I'm going with Devonta Freeman. He's available in 78% of the leagues. This past weekend for the Ravens, he had 13 rushes for 79 yards. He also had 2 receptions for 4 yards, but he did grab that touchdown in the air. He only had 3 targets in the passing attack. Now, obviously, the Ravens rushing the lead back is not like it was in the past, whether it was Mark Ingram, whether it was, J.K. Dobbins, or even Gus Edwards. But it does seem like we're starting to evolve into like a double-headed committee between Devonta Freeman and Le'Veon Bell, but Devonta Freeman is getting the majority of the touches. And anytime you have a rushing attack that is going to be a run-heavy offense, you do want to try to get one of the best backs in that backfield. And Devonta Freeman, this past weekend, he looks like he's going to at least see the amount of touches that you would want to see out of that type of backfield. Now, they are playing on Thursday night. They are going against the Miami Dolphins. So I do think he is a good play this week, just because the Ravens are just, I mean, let's be real, they're so much better as of right now than the Dolphins team. And if they can jump out to an early big lead against the Dolphins, they're going to lean on their run to close that out in the game. So I like to see Devonta Freeman to get even more touches this game. So if you're looking for a running back option, I would consider playing Devonta Freeman as a flex this week. If you can afford to pick him up and put him on your bench and see if he can evolve into a more of a trusty running back like 2 to flex play, I would do that if you can. My wide receiver ad of the week, I am going with Elijah Moore, the Jets rookie wide receiver. He's available in 72% of the leagues right now. This past Thursday night against the Colts, he had the 7 receptions for 84 yards. He also had 2 touchdowns on a total of 8 targets. And what I'm liking about Elijah Moore right now is that is easily the best game that he has shown as a rookie thus far this year. And then you look at the Jets wide receiver room. Corey Davis is dealing with a hip injury. We have no clue when he's going to return. Now, Jamison Crowder is back in the wide receiver room, but if you guys know, Jamison Crowder is suspect to getting hurt at any point of the season. So if there is one Jets wide receiver I'm willing to gamble on for the rest of the year, it's going to be Elijah Moore. He's younger. He's a rookie wide receiver. They spent a second round pick on him. So they have plans for him to be involved in the future of the offense. Like the other guys, yeah, sure, they signed Corey Davis to a good deal. But Jamison Crowder, his deal is up after this year. So if there's any wide receiver right now in this Jets wide receiver corps that they're going to bet on to develop for a role for the 2022 season, it's going to be Elijah Moore. So I'm willing to take him on my roster. I don't think he's a good play this week because they are, as you can see, they are playing the Bills. The Bills are one of the defenses you want to avoid playing fantasy football players against. But if you're looking for a depth piece that could potentially add you some value at the end of the season, I think it's Elijah Moore. So if he's available in your league, I would consider adding him in a stash spot on your roster. My tight end ad of the week, I'm just going to go ahead and pat myself, double pat on the back here on Pat Freiermuth. I told you guys to add him last week. Apparently enough of you didn't add him where I can talk about him again this week. Pat Freiermuth for the Steelers is available in 59% of the leagues. After telling you guys to add him and play him last week, he came on this past Monday night and had 5 receptions for 43 yards. He had 2 touchdowns on 6 targets. He did hit over the 3.5 receptions, so that might be a gamble. Old Cody put in the old account last hour. Yeah, that was last night. So with that being said, I keep on saying Big Ben loves a good tight end in his offense. Pat Freiermuth, as of right now, is the 3rd most targeted receiver in the Steelers receiving room. Chase Claypool, unfortunately, as much as I like Chase Claypool, he is dealing, I believe, with a foot injury that he's getting evaluated at this time. So as of right now, you have Deontay Johnson in the passing attack, maybe a little James Washington. But other than that, it's Pat Freiermuth. If you're looking for a tight end that you can maybe rely upon on the foreseeable future, I'm believing it's going to be Pat Freiermuth. He's got 6 and then 7 targets over the last couple weeks. You want to see that amount of targets. So if you're looking for a trusty tight end, it's starting to look like Pat Freiermuth might be the option for you. Now, my flex ad of the week, this is going to be more of a depth piece. It's going to be Donovan Peoples-Jones, the wide receiver from the Browns. He's available in 86% of the leagues. This past week, he had 2 receptions for 86 yards, a touchdown on 3 targets. Now, I'm going to admit, the 3 targets, that's ugly. That's not efficient. That's not something that you can rely upon. But with that being said, there's going to be games where the Browns have to depend on the run. Nick Chubb, for example, and their backup, Demetric Felton, they are on right now the COVID list, and they're both vaccinated. But if those guys are unable to return, if they can't get negative tests 24 hours apart, this might be a pass-heavy offense for the Browns this week, and there might be future weeks where they're maybe facing a run. One of the top run defenses in the NFL, where they're going to have to depend on Baker Mayfield in the passing attack. Obviously, everybody knows OBJ's out of the picture, but then you got Jarvis Landry. Now, Jarvis Landry's going to get his, but everybody knows at any point of the season, he may have to leave for a week or 2 with an injury. So there's opportunity for Donovan Peoples-Jones to grow into a bigger role. There's opportunity for Donovan Peoples-Jones to see more targets week in and week out. With that being said, I think he's a bench ad this week. See how it deploys this weekend. Maybe if those guys are out, like Nick Chubb, if he's unable to play this Sunday, maybe you do lean on Donovan Peoples-Jones, but see how it plays out this week. And if he can start seeing that 5 to 8 target range, he's at that flex to wide receiver 3 value for the rest of the season. And you guys maybe just saw Titan right there, who tried to make his weekly appearance on the show. Obviously, he's not used to Dad coming back home late and talking at let's see, it's 9:43 Eastern, so a lot later than I normally record for you guys. But like I said, I was at that work event a lot longer than I planned on it being. With that being said, the waiver wire targets, we got Teddy Bridgewater as the quarterback position, Devontae Freeman at the running back position, Elijah Moore at the wide receiver position, Pat Fryermuth at the tight end position, and my flex out of the week is Donovan Peoples-Jones. Let's go ahead and move on to the Streamable Defenses, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, if there was any week for me to have a work event, it was probably this week. Not only the the waiver wire options were very thin, the streamable defenses were very thin for the options I put on myself. Because like I said, this is per Yahoo. They have to have more than 50% availability on Yahoo rosters for me to consider them as an option to present to you, my viewers. And even with that being said, sometimes I do pick some people, whether it's a player or a defense, at the 50% margin. I try to avoid it if they're exactly at 50%, but I'm not going to lie, I could not avoid it this week. It was very thin options. So I hope maybe you guys have picked up a defense from last week. Maybe it's like for me, like the Colts defense. I picked them up against the Jets, and I'm probably going to stream them against the Jaguars. But the Colts have more than 50% ownership. So I could not present them as an option for you guys. So it's very thin out there for anybody that's looking for a defense that they can stream against this week. With that being said, let me just go ahead and dive into it. My number one streamable defense for week 10, I'm going with the Titans against the Saints. Now, with that being said, it's pretty simple, right? You guys know I'm willing to gamble on bad quarterback play. Trevor Siemian, he was all right. Taysom Hill, he's not a real quarterback. Let's be real. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. So the Saints offense right now is nothing that's going to scare any type of defense going forward until they add a real quarterback in their offense, whether it's a Phillip Rivers or maybe they try to pull something out of their ass, to say the least. So on top of that, we saw what the Titans did against that Rams offense last week, and the Rams offense is significantly better than the Saints offense right now. And the Titans are available in 88% of the league. So there's a high availability rate for them for you to go to pick up and add them to your lineup. So if you're looking for a defense, try to go add the Titans if you can. My number two streamable defense of the week, I'm going with the Broncos against the Eagles. The Eagles just have not offered too much to me. Now, I think they did perform a lot better than I did expect this past week, but that Chargers defense is very suspect to the run. We did see the Broncos look like they kind of had a bounce back type of game against the Cowboys. They kept that passing attack in check. They kept the running game in check. So I think the Broncos could offer you not only a low scoring game if you're maybe playing in one of those type of leagues where they judge the defensive points based on how many points are scored by the offense. I think there's a potential for this to be one of those type of games that actually hit the under. This is in Denver, so this is Jalen Hurts and that passing offense going to Denver. We'll have to see how they end up playing, but I like for this to be a low-scoring game. I like this for be a potential sack type of game, and I do believe anytime you have Jalen in the lineup, as good as he's played as a fantasy quarterback, there's opportunity for turnovers to happen. And if you're looking for an option to stream, I would consider the Denver Broncos defense this week. As I kind of already alluded to, I talked about the 50% mark. I think you could take a chance on the Browns defense this week. They're available in 50% of the leagues on Yahoo. They are facing against the Patriots. Now, anytime you face the Patriots, I just don't like that. Like, you could tell me they have the worst quarterback in the league, but when you have Bill Belichick, that's the head coach, it's a tough thing for me to trust, if I'm going to be honest. But with that being said, Mac Jones has not been perfect over the last couple of weeks. He's missed some throws. His numbers are not that great, and there's been some opportunity for turnovers. We saw, obviously, the hit forced fumble where everybody's questioning if he basically did a Ken Shamrock jiu-jitsu ankle lock on Brian Burns when he fumbled the ball. So There's an opportunity for turnovers whenever you face the Patriots offense, and I'm always willing to gamble on a rookie quarterback. I don't care what point of the year it is. I'm always willing to gamble on a rookie quarterback. The Browns defense is coming off a really great performance against that Bengals offense. I would actually consider the Bengals offense better than the Patriots offense. So I like the chance for the Browns, not only with Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney to get those sack potentials, but with guys like Greg Newsome in the secondary and John Johnson, I like the opportunity for some maybe pick six opportunities. My number 4 streamable defense, I'm going with the Chiefs. Yes, I said the Chiefs, a really bad defense, but guys, I'm working with really bad matches this week. So and with that being said, the Chiefs got to have some type of confidence that they could have been built off of the performance that they did against the Packers. Now, I understand it wasn't against Aaron Rodgers. It was against a Jordan Love offense and his first start since his first real NFL start. Not let's throw out NFL. His first real football start since 2019. There was going to be expectation that he was going to have his struggles. That's why the Chiefs defense sent blitz after blitz after blitz after blitz after Jordan Love. But with that being said, they have to have dealt with some type of like upper confidence with how that defense performed. It was easily their best game of the season this past week. And the thing is, they are going against this Raiders offense, which I brought up last week. Like, with the loss of Henry Ruggs, that hurt their offense and made their offense more condensed. Now, I understand they added Deshaun Jackson, but let's be real. I love Deshaun Jackson. He might have a game or two in him this season for the Raiders to blow up, but he could get hurt at any point. And this past week, we saw the Raiders, the offense, turn the ball over at least 3 times. Derek Carr threw 2 interceptions, including a pick 6, and he fumbled the ball. So I think this Raiders the whole team is about to implode, if I'm being honest, between the Gruden stuff, between the Henry Ruggs stuff. Now there's the Damon Arnett stuff. So if there's a defense I think you could gamble on if you're in a super deep league and there's not better options for you out there on the market, I would definitely consider rolling with the Chiefs defense against the Raiders. Now, I've said this before earlier in the season, sometimes you want to gamble on low scoring affairs. And that Eagles Broncos, like I already said, might be a low scoring affair. So if you're in like a 12 plus team league, this is probably maybe even be in a 14 plus team league, as much as I don't trust this. But I'm going to go with the Eagles against the Broncos. The Eagles are available in 93% of the leagues right now. They have a really good defensive front with Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, right? So they're going to be able to bottle up the rushing attack of Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. So, I'm sorry, I totally butchered that. The Eagles' defense is, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they're going to be able to bottle up that rushing attack of Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. Now, they have Josh Sweat, which can win against that offensive line. Now, the Broncos' offensive line, they lost Graham Glasgow. He's out for, I want to say, at least the rest of the season. It sounds like it's a pretty serious injury. Garrett Bowles missed this past week, and I want to say their right tackle is going to potentially miss this matchup. So their whole offensive line could be missing anywhere between 3 to 5 potential starters for this game. The Eagles' defensive front is very solid, so I think the Broncos are going to struggle to run against the Eagles' defense. I think there's going to be opportunities for a Josh Sweat, maybe for a Derek Barnett to come off the edge and get some pressure on a Teddy Bridgewater. And I do think there is some potential they can get the turnovers with the Patrick Surtain, with the Justin Simmons in the secondary. So this might be a super deep league roll of the dice, but there is an opportunity the Eagles can come through for people that are looking for an option at the Streamable Defenses. Again, my top 5 for this week: Titans against the Saints, Broncos against the Eagles, Browns against the Patriots, Chiefs against the Raiders, and the Eagles against the Broncos. So yeah, that is my video, guys. I do appreciate anybody that did end up watching this. I know this is going to be coming out super late. than normal. I normally typically get this out at least about 2 hours ago. But again, I do appreciate people understanding that I had a work event that I had to go to after work tonight. Came straight home, took care of Titan, took him out on a walk, came right back in, and hopped on so I can pitch this to you guys so you can get your lineup set up for this week. I will be back tomorrow night. Now, I know starts and sits is not more of a timely manner like this video, but the starts and sits might come out a little later than normal because if anybody really knows me, I typically go on a run on Tuesday nights. Obviously, I did not go on a run tonight because of the event. I'm gonna go on my run tomorrow night after work, so I'm gonna get that done, come home, record the start sit video, and get that out for you guys. So that's when you can expect that, all right? Other than that, as always, hit that like button if you have not hit it yet. Hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed to my channel. I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here so I can A, get this edited, B, maybe eat a couple things, get some water in me, and then maybe get some good sleep tonight before I gotta start my whole day tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night when I do my top starts and sits for week 10 in fantasy football. Other than that, peace out, guys. I'll talk to you then.